Hello, everyone. I'm Deborah Prescott, the Mathematics Department Chair at Central Texas College, and I'm joined today by Professor Ellen Falkenstein and Professor Chad Burrows, and we are here to tell you about the programs our department offers, as well as answer any questions you might have about math and to show you how much fun it can be. So I have a little bit of a presentation I want to share, and then we'll kind of go around the room to the others.
I'm glad that y'all can make it today. This will be great fun. Math is always fun. And if you're not having fun with it, you haven't found the right person to teach you math.
That's true.
Okay, and I shared where y'all can see it. Make sure I did the technology part right.
Can you hit the full screen?
So
Deb?
this is the mathematics. Pardon?
There we go. You're good now. Thank you.
Okay, a little delay. Okay, these are the programs that are offered in the mathematics department. So of course, mathematics. But we also have the engineering program, drafting and design program, soon to start robotics. That's a new one for us. And then we have Math Express. And Professor Falkenstein is the program coordinator for Math Express. Math Express is where you jump on if you're not quite college ready for the math courses. And she's going to tell us more about that in a bit. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information. First of all, math is everywhere, okay? If you're looking at anything that is man-made, there was a lot of math that went into that. If you're buying products off the shelf that are man-made in the grocery store, there's a lot of math that goes into that, okay? And so here's some examples. Any of those suspension bridges? I went with structures. This is the UAE. A man-made island. And this recently, I'm going to get you on some current events. Yesterday, right, Blue Origin went into space. All man-made, all requiring a whole lot of math. Sometimes, though, the math is wrong, so I'm going to share a couple of those. All right, there's one, pretty famous one, right? The Leaning Tower of Pisa, built on a not great foundation. Don't know if you know this one, but this is called the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. It's also called Galloping Gertie. The wind stream would come under that bridge so strong that it made it whip like a like a piece of ribbon. And people would actually drive their cars on it in the 1920s and ride it like a ride. As a matter of fact, you can see a car up there. Needless to say, it collapsed because the engineers didn't prepare themselves for the wind that would come under there. So look into that more. That one's a good story. All right, I want to share a little bit about our programs that we offer. So in the mathematics program, you need to score a 950 on the TSIA to be eligible. Now, Ellen will tell you a little bit more about that in a little bit, and then also I think on Monday we're having about TSIA. So our associates in mathematics degree is designed to transfer credits to a four-year institution. Okay, all of us should transfer. If you're going to major in math, 1414 is the first class you want to take. That is the prerequisite for pre-calculus. We offer a math 1314, which is college algebra, but that is not the one you want to take as a math major. Okay, and we offer those classes as lecture online, synchronous online. So we have something for everyone, no matter what your lifestyle is like. If you are a traditional student and want to do lectures, we've got that for you. If you have a job and a family, we can still make things work for you too. We have an advanced math lab on campus, and those lab assistants there are always available to help. That's a good resource for our math students. Okay, engineering. needless to say, engineering requires a lot of math. So if you're going to be on an engineering degree plan, make sure you take math in your very first semester. You have to get a lot of math out of the way to meet the prerequisites for the engineering classes. Those are also designed to transfer to a four-year institution. I want to tell you, though, we have some students who have completed this third bullet, which is they transferred to A&M Texas, completed their bachelor's degree in engineering technology, and we have two of them that are now on their master's degree with Texas A&M, and that is an online degree. And so if you start with us, you can go through that process and complete a master's degree and not ever have to move. You can stay in the area. It's kind of a big, big plus. We have the drafting and design program. We have some certificates of a certificate of completion and an associate of applied science degree. Okay, this the drafting design is now competency-based program, and so that allows flexibility for student scheduling. So if you have that family or you have that job, this is a program that you could complete because I'm sort of in your own time. Okay. And I didn't mean to hang on. I really wanted, this one's kind of important. Okay. Last one. I don't know. I didn't unhide it. Yes. Robotics. So we have a robotics program that's starting in fall. Okay. And it's designed for students to be able to build, okay, or test, maintain robotics or automated systems. Okay. And so now if you take a look around, everything is automated. It's kind of like math is everywhere. Nowadays, automation is everywhere. And we're going to be telling you more about that program next Tuesday. So if you're interested, come back and learn more about it next Tuesday. And that is all I had on the slides.
That sounds like an exciting lineup.
Right.
So we got a little bit of everything here in the math department, it seems. If you're just wanting to get that math credit done for your degree program, we got you. Math 13, 14, college algebra, you're in, you're out, you're done. You know, if you want to actually stay and learn more math, engineering, robotics, drafting and design, we got it. We got it all. And again, we're trying to go for that transferability, going on to the four-year universities. That's where you're going to be going anyways if you're going to be taking more math and engineering. So we're trying to prepare you for that. Either way.
And I'm gonna boast two things. One, if you start with us, you're going to save a whole lot of money and get those first 2 years out of the way. And the other thing is we have success stories that indicate we're going to get you very well prepared for that four-year institution. So you won't have any issues. If you can complete with us, you'll be fine when you move on. So I guess we're ready for Professor Falkenstein, who's going to tell us more about the Math Express.
Okay, let me share here. So in Texas, a lot of things have changed, mostly good changes. If you take the TSI test, and with the new TSI test, if you score 950 or better, off you go to the standalone math department. You're going to get your math done, and they will help you get there. And then you can move on and do whatever fun things you want to do from there. If you score less than 950, we have a few different things for you. One, we now have free tutoring that can help you study if you want to retake the TSI. We're going to talk about that in detail on Monday if you want to come back and talk to us then. But if you feel like that really was your score, then we have lots of help for you in Math Express. We are now what's called 100% co-rec. And so what that means is you really are taking the college math class, but you also take a supplemental instruction class with that. And it's not that we hurry up and teach you everything you need to know to catch up and then take the math class. We teach it a little bit at a time. So as you are taking, let's say, college algebra, we'll start off the first week, we're going to do a little bit of slope, we're going to do some plotting points, some different things, and then you're going to do the college algebra material that covers that. And then the next week, we'll do that again. You need a little help with exponents. We do that, and then you get going. So you don't even know it's 2 math classes. It looks horrible. You're signing up for 2 math classes, but it's not. It's just one big intermingled class where we give you all the resources that you need. So we are now 100% co-rec. I like this quote. You can do it as long as you really believe 100%. Look at that from Arnold. Now, I was looking for 100% co-rec quotes, and I just had to post this one. Whatever you do, always give 100%, unless you're donating blood. Sorry, had to do it. All right. Now we do, though, if you score low, if it's been a really long time since you had math, or maybe you have big holes in what you did learn in math, we do have a class that will just give you the concepts that you need before you go into a co-rec. So don't be worried that we have everything for you. And just a little plug for reading and writing, they have it as well while we're here. Of course, I have to plug us. If you have any questions after this, just go to math.express@ctcd.edu and we will help you figure out what needs to happen. This is our card that we have. So we have 4 different co-recs. We've got you covered no matter what you need for your degree. We have contemporary math, statistics, college algebra, the 13-14, and then starting this fall, we also have the STEM college algebra. So we have help no matter where you need it, no matter what your degree plan needs. And don't worry if you are a STEM major and you feel like you're way behind. We can get you there. What we'll do is we'll get you into the 13-14 college algebra that has lots of resources if you feel like you have a lot of holes in your math. And then at the very end, we're going to do just a quick little 2-week course to get you up to speed so you can go to pre-calc. And we have a number of students who are math majors and engineering majors who had to come all the way through the program with us, but that's okay because they come back and tell me now that they help the other students in pre-calculus and calculus because all of their material and concepts are so fresh because they just learned it. All right, there are 3 kinds of people in this world: those who are good at math and those who aren't. So this last 2 years has been awesome as a person who teaches mostly statistics because you can't avoid statistics the last 1.5 years. There's no hope. It's everywhere. There are tables, there are charts. They're trying to convince you to do this or convince you to do that. And you might say, okay, I don't need math for my degree. Well, that might be true. But if you go and watch the news, you want to be, sorry to say this, a little smarter than the person putting these charts up on the screen because they could be tricking you. Like this one, nowhere does it say that it is per capita. So this could just be raw data that has nothing to do with each other. And so that's what we teach in statistics, is how to learn to kind of watch the fine print as you go along. And there are a lot of fields where you're right. You're not going to go factor polynomials or maybe draw a graph, but you're going to have to read material, especially if you get your master's degree. You're going to have to read studies where someone else did all of that. And you need to be able to figure out if it's good data or not good data. Speaking of not good data, there is a website. This website is hysterical, where they try to correlate data. So this is looking at the letters in the winning word of the National Spelling Bee, which that was in the news recently, versus the number of people killed by venomous spiders. And they were able to make this data look like it correlates. If you go to this website, it's pretty funny. They'll do like Nicolas Cage's number of movies in a year versus something crazy. But you gotta know what you're looking at so that you can look at this and say
that kind of looks like if you're a good speller, that spider's after you.
Doesn't it? Yeah, you never
But I
know.
don't think so.
But truly, I mean, especially this last 2 years, it has really shown where you might not need to be a math major, although that would be awesome. I tell my students that that's my truest success point. It's not everybody passing my class. It's when I convince just one person to take one more math class or to maybe become a math major. That's just, sorry, that's exciting. Okay, so I'm going to just real quick, because just reach out to us and let us know if you need help. We would be happy to help you. And again, we can, especially if you're on the bubble with the TSI, come watch on Monday because we have help that you can retake the test and maybe you won't have to do developmental. The other thing is it's so important with the TSI that you get placed correctly. So you really want to do your best on the TSA so that we know we're putting you in the right class. We don't want to waste your time and money, but we want to give you what you need. So I do want to show real quick before I let Chad do his thing.
While you're pulling that up, Ellen, there's a question in the chat. So I'm
I was waiting for a break there. If you want to go ahead and address the question, or you want to?
Sure. It's
okay. Here's the question.
Ahead,
it says this student is transferring to CTC to study another career path.
I muted Bruce. I'm sorry.
Accidentally.
I kind of cut out there. I'm sorry. It says, again, someone who took statistics at ACC, would they need to take our college algebra class if they already took statistics?
So yes, if your degree plan says you must have college algebra and it doesn't give you an option to take statistics, you're going to have to take the college algebra because statistics is not anything related to college algebra at all. It's not an algebra track. It's a totally different math field. And so yes, you'll have to take the college algebra. And so you have options, depending on where you place with the TSIA. If you already took statistics, I'm assuming you're probably college ready and ready to jump into that 13-14 class.
I want to make just an extra little piece there. For the information technology degree in particular, I would highly recommend having college algebra at all anyways. We really try to focus on problem solving, and everything that you have computer, wise information technology stuff is going to be problem solving eventually. So having that math background, just a little bit even, will tell you, will help you, will progress you in how you're supposed to be doing your job every day. It doesn't always show up. It's not going to be like, well, today you're going to have to solve polynomials, or today we're going to learn about logarithms again. It's not going to be like that. But you will use those same brain skills that you learned in class to problem solve your way out of things that you'll have every single day. And you might not even know it. You might not even notice it. But because those skills have been developed already, it should come very naturally. So I highly recommend college algebra for the information technology degree in particular.
Right. And I think, but I haven't seen the new catalog yet. I believe that some of the IT degrees want math 1414. So please check that before you enroll.
Great. All right. And no other questions right now. So Ellen, if you will continue with Math Express, and we'll field the questions as they come in.
Awesome. What's it doing?
Right now we got a white screen.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, so this is our CTC webpage. If you just type in www.ctcd.edu. But we have so much information on this page, and I know that's hard that we have so much information. So we wanted to show you real quick, and there is a Facebook Live if you want to see more in depth about this. But right here in Explore Academic Programs, that's where you're going to find all kinds of information about all of our different degree plans. There's an overall video, and then everything is separated into clusters. Inside of there, you will not only find information about that degree plan and to include whether you need math for that degree plan and which math you need, but you'll also see different kinds of jobs and salaries, lots of information. That's a good place to start, especially if you don't know what you want to do. But if you do know and you haven't been to an advisor yet and you're just trying to prep before you go see an advisor, the degree plans are in here as well.
Can you show the business administration one, because there is a question about that?
Sure,
Thank you.
absolutely. Okay, so because these are grouped into what we call clusters, you might have to search a little bit. Because it's broken out into the arts, business, construction, STEM. We have a few, public service, a few different things. So if you come in here for business, and we do have videos that talk, the videos have students talking and professors talking. So it just kind of gives you a feel for what happens in that program. Also, if you're a new student and you come to new student orientation, we have professors come and do different breakout sessions for each of these clusters, and then you can actually talk to them and ask your questions. All right, so we have different jobs, but then when you come down here, if you're interested in, did you say business administration?
Yes.
Okay, if you click here, then you can actually see the degree plan. Now, we know that most of our students are not traditional. They might not be taking full time, but that's okay. This is just kind of a map to get you started. And you can see here, they recommend college algebra, contemporary, or statistics. So this is a good thing. We didn't really talk about this. You need to really know where you're going to go next before you pick one of these. Also, we were talking, as we were prepping for this, we were talking about how students think 13, 14 is the easiest because it's the smallest number. That's not true. And really, there's no, I don't know if you could pick an easy one anyway, but 13, 14 is the college algebra. So if you're going to a university that wants college algebra, you definitely want to take that class. And again, we have co-recs if you need those. And then the 1332 is contemporary. That's a hodgepodge of things. It's, we've got geometry and statistics and probability and Venn diagrams and truth tables, logic, all kinds of things in 1332. This kind of hits across the board. And then 1342 is statistics. Statistics is really good for business, but again, if you're going to a university that wants college algebra, then you need to know that. And every college is a little different, and they are starting to change. A lot more colleges are having students do statistics because it's pertinent to their degree.
I want to add just real quick to what Ellen said, because everything she said was perfect. Look to the four-year university, what they want, and go from there. That's a good start. But on a practical level, just between you and me, I think statistics would definitely be the best for the business administration side of things. I mean, just as Ellen was showing us earlier with all the statistics and charts and stuff, that is your job in business, is to present how your business is doing, I suppose. You're going to be taking data and putting it into charts and finding correlations and all kind of stuff. Going through the statistics class will teach you just that. I mean, it'll make your charts and graphs and stuff not just accurate, but impressive. And you'll know how to read other people's stuff and know if they're wrong. So I would highly recommend on a practical level the statistics 1342 class. just between you and me.
Good point.
Thank you, Chad. I agree. And you can always reach out to the departments. We're always happy to help students. And you could reach out to the business admin and see what they really think, because they also talk to a lot of the universities in the area. Of course, we can't hit everyone, and we know that we have students across the world, but they can help you research to find that as well.
So Ellen, since you're on the webpage, can we go back and look at the math one?
Sure.
So they can see where they can find anything about any of those programs that we talked about.
My Wi-Fi is doing crazy stuff right now.
Ellen, did you change it from the video or did you leave it like that?
Oh, I probably left it because I went fast.
Can you
Do you want me to
stop
come
sharing and
out?
try again? Because I
Yes.
think that might help.
That may be causing a delay.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
We trust you. You got this. You got this.
I trust you to figure that out for me. Thank you.
If there was an algorithm associated with sharing your screen, you'd probably have it down pat. So.
Yeah, if I could have written a program to do it for me, right?
That looks better on my end.
Yes, I think that helped because it went much faster. Okay, so I don't know why, but STEM is on the bottom of this page. I'm going to have to speak to somebody about that. So we're going to come to mathematics.
And she's going to tell you how awesome it is in that video, so you can go watch that sometime.
That's right. So go watch that video. Watch all the videos.
I believe that particular student, by the way, was a valedictorian of early college high school headed to MIT.
Wow, impressive.
So
it's awesome. So if you come down to the bottom of the screen, you'll have a phone number where you can contact the math department. Does this link us to the math
page?
Page? Okay, let's do that.
So we have a whole page that you can come find out anything. Look at all those programs over there on the right side. Anything you want to know about any of the programs we have to offer.
You see some of our, we have videos. You see all of us fun math professors. You've got quotes on here. The other nice thing on this page, do you know I actually go to this page to do this? There are links for the instructional materials you can look up and for the syllabi. Now, this isn't the individual teacher's syllabi, but it's a basic
course. It's a course
syllabi. And we are consistent. We want you to know that. I know I hear from students that some departments, if you take a certain class, it's not the same if you take it at Fort Rucker or if you take it on Fort Hood or you take it here at Killeen, but that's not true in math. We're very controlling people in math. But if you take a class with any of the math teachers anywhere across the world, it is going to be the same material and it's going to be taught with the same software package and the same book. Am I right?
Same assignments, same everything. Just different personalities. Is there any math tutoring? Yes, we have an advanced math lab if you're local that as a math student you can use, and they're available there to help. But also if you're taking an online class, we have a CTC instructor that is assigned as our CTC math tutor in Blackboard.
Yeah, and there's also the Academic Studio, which provides free tutoring
absolutely.
services as well. And before you move on, Ellen, there was another comment that came through. I do struggle with math, and I'm taking one development and one regular math course. So that is an option. I believe that students can do both at the same time to kind of speed up their math completion for their degree plan. Is that correct?
Right. So that is our co-rec class. If you are having trouble, we have tutors. We have virtual tutors, and we have the online tutor that Ms. Prescott was just talking about. And inside of all of our co-rec classes, we have individual lecture videos, and that's us doing that. It's the instructors from the Math Express team looking at the lecture notes, which are also provided to you, and working through those programs on a video. So you can stop, you can work with us, and you can start the video again. So if I believe that question sounded like you're in the program right now.
Yes.
If you are struggling, please reach out to your instructor. Make sure that you're using the resources that you need. You can reach out to Math Express. We can get you hooked up with the tutor, because we have tutors and they need to be busy. So I'm happy to make sure that they contact you.
Right. Another question that came through, do developmental classes count towards credit?
They do not count toward credit. They prepare you for the credit class. With Math Express, though, you are able to complete both of them in the same semester. So it's a kind of an accelerated thing. And so that's been very helpful. And I just want to comment and say, you know, I hope there's not a stigma about needing to take a developmental class. Math is just like a foreign language, and you need to start where you are so that you can learn and go from there. I'm not going to jump into Spanish 3 if I haven't had any other Spanish. I would have no prayer of passing. And it's the same thing in math. If you try to jump ahead of where you are, you're just putting yourself in a really bad situation. So don't be discouraged or think anything negative if you are back here because it's been a really long time or something and you don't remember it. That's where you need to start. And Math Express is going to get you there and get you caught up and get you ready to, you know, continue on your way.
Right.
Right. Although we do recommend, if possible, if you have anxiety about math, or if it's been a really long time, or if you have a lot to catch up on, we do recommend taking either in the classroom or synchronous. We will offer the synchronous still in the fall, but we're going to be back in the classroom as well, because then you're really meeting with the teacher. With online, you have us as a resource, but we're not meeting with you at certain times during the week. The synchronous virtual is awesome if you work or if you've got kids at home, because you actually sign in with the teacher over a program like Zoom, and you're still meeting with the teacher. It's exactly the same as the classroom, except we can't see your faces when you're getting stuck, which is a little frustrating. But otherwise, you are getting all the help that you need.
Yes, but that means you can't see their messy hair and pajamas and coffee either.
That's true.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I don't see any other questions coming through in the chat right now. So again, for those students, again, share some of your success stories. I know, again, you've encountered these students that we've talked about who have this phobia about math and are not very sure of themselves or confident with themselves in math, but yet at the end of the semester, at the end of it all, boom, they're a shining star. You guys have helped progress that. Kind of share some of the methodologies, I guess, if you will, Deb.
So can we, I think probably we can all share one. I'm going to share probably, this is not a recent one, but man, we've had so many good ones. I'm going to start back with a student that named Thomas. I remember having Thomas in pre-Cal and maybe Cal 1, but he started in developmental, and that was back in developmental when you had to do the developmental classes first before you could ever take a college class. It had just been a long time since he took math. Thomas has since graduated Texas A&M with an engineering degree, and he is doing very well. And so there you go. He went through the whole thing. It takes a little persistence, right? But he did it. And so I like that success story because he stuck with it, had to start pretty much at the very beginning. What is yours,
I
Chad?
personally don't have like I'm not gonna name anybody in particular, but this last year has been very difficult on everyone, of course, even for me. So being here at the house, not getting to move around like I normally do in the classroom, But I still tried to make it exciting, even through a webcam, you know, and little chat stuff. And so I remember I would write down on my little board here, and it'd display all my math, and at the same time I'd keep my webcam on, and I would record everything, so like people would live stream and, you know, chat with me, and then I'd post it later. And I really wanted to stress the flexibility of, you know, being able to encounter math, you know, with me, like at that time. Later you have to go back and look it over. I've had many students in the lecture classes that would take notes so slowly that they wouldn't be able to, you know, keep up enough in the classroom. Well, like when I'm recording stuff, they can now go back and go and see that again and again. And, you know, the pause button is incredible. I mean, so I feel like now that we have encountered this technology in this way, there's no going back. And not for me, at least. I'm in the classroom. When I go back here in August, I'm going to be doing technology in a way that's very similar to what I've been doing for the past year. I want to record. I want to live stream if I can. I want to be able to have all these resources available for all the students, because that was a key to success during this time. I mean, some people had to go to work sometimes. Some people had, you know, stuff going on. And so being flexible, working with the student, and having the tutoring also, the advanced math lab assistants being online, live streaming, you know, doing the math with you face to face, basically. And I don't know if they're going to keep doing that here in fall, but I mean, they'll certainly be in person again, like we will be. And that personal interaction is important to math. It's not just always about numbers. It's about the way you encounter those numbers, you know? So I feel that, yeah, I know there's always these, you know, bad things that have happened through the pandemic, but I mean, there are good things too. And I think we can move forward out of this in a good and healthy way too. So that's my little thing.
No, I totally agree with you, Chad. I think technology is definitely a plus that has come out of this, and the way we are able to teach and deliver classes. And in a sense, you've kind of answered the next question that came up, or comment in the chat, is how can I progress with math when I'm having a hard time for it? You guys have already talked about some tutoring and being able to hit that pause button on some live lectures. So if you could kind of expand and recap some of the resources that students have to help them through through their math struggles, if you will.
Well,
Go ahead.
I would say if you're taking it right now, reach out to your instructor, because, you know, we're all here to help you. Don't think that, you know, it's not like at a 4-year where you have a professor who's doing research, but they have to teach your class, and that's not really what they want to do. Our job is to teach class. We don't do research. We're teachers. And so I want people to reach out to me and ask for help, because I love helping them understand and get a point across, or whatever it is. So reach out to your instructor mainly is what I would say. But then your instructor is going to tell you all the resources you could and should be using. My big spiel for math is it's what's the word? You have to demonstrate your proficiency. You have to demonstrate your ability. It's no different than here's my analogy. I can sit in the stands and watch Michael Jordan dribble that ball all day long and do all his, you know, dunk it from the free throw line. And how do I do that? Well, it's not by watching him from the stands. It's by picking up a basketball and start trying to do it and start trying to mimic him. And math is the same exact way. I'm the Michael Jordan of mathematics. No, I'm just kidding. So you're not going to learn it by sitting there in the chair watching me do it. That is step number 1. Sit, watch me do it, and kind of understand what I'm doing. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is pick up a pencil and start practicing yourself until you can do it all by yourself without any help with those resources. But so that's one big thing that I almost always tell students who had struggled on an exam or something. It takes practice, and you have to dedicate time to practice. And everybody's different. Some people have a knack for it, and they might only have to practice that certain topic a couple times. Somebody else might really struggle with it and have to practice a lot more. So you kind of got to do a self-inventory and do what you have to do.
I want to add on to that, because that was awesome. You have to get in there. You got to get messy. You got to get dirty. You got to get things wrong. It's okay to get math problems wrong, because now you're learning, and now you can go back and do it right the next time. or maybe the next time after that. How many times do you think I've gotten math problems wrong over my career? You know, I mean, it's everyone does it. That's fine. It's so like, oh no, I got the wrong problem. Well, it's okay because now you know what not to do, and now try something else. You actually have to get your feet on the ground when the rubber hits the road. I totally agree with that. I think another part that's kind of interesting for us in the math department is that we're always using an online homework system like the My Math Lab and the WebAssigns and the Newton and stuff, where you can practice again and again and again, and you get immediate feedback. And it's so important. Back in the day, you'd have like homework on a piece of paper. You hope you're doing it right, and then you turn it in, and maybe they'll grade it another 2 weeks later, you know, and by then you already had a test. None of that's happening anymore. It's all immediate. So now you know, wow, I got it wrong that way. And then, hey, look, here's a tutorial on how to do it right. Oh, look, here's a video. Here's a video from the professor himself. There's a lot of different ways to do this math now and have it successful for you. And so I saw in the comments here, one of y'all is an ESL student. You know, that math is a second language for me. I mean, and that's really what I think one of y'all were saying that earlier. It is a whole new language. And so we're trying to teach it that way as well. The numbers are going to be, you know, numbers and words are words, I guess. So don't let that stop you. Yes, there's going to be words that we use in class, but when I put, you know, 2 + 2 = 4 on the board, we're all good. Everyone's the same there, you know, solve for X, you know, we can all do that. So there you go. That's my little spiel.
And then, you know, we've mentioned the resources. We have a lot of resources. I mean, if you're willing to put in the time, you're going to get it because you have your instructor, you have a tutor, you have the academic studio with more tutoring. There's videos loaded. Our programs we use have so many resources in them. There's PowerPoints and examples and all kinds of things. And so, but my biggest thing is practice.
Now, Professor Burrow, you had mentioned something like the homework check and some other resources. Now, are those available to students now or through their class through the instructor? How does the student access that?
It's through the class. Whenever you sign up for a class at CTC side, you're just, you know, you're paying the dues and you're doing all that and you're waiting to get into Blackboard kind of thing. Once you're actually able to get into Blackboard and you know, all that kind of stuff, like day one, essentially, we then either enroll you automatically or you will enroll yourself into our homework system, our online homework system. So it'll be either My Math Lab, WebAssign, or Newton in particular. At that moment, you basically have everything available to you at day one. So you can go all the way to chapter 9 if you want to, and just discover, oh wow, I need to start at chapter 1. But that's okay. It's all there and it's all available to you, and it never like shuts down. It never goes away. You can always go back and reference those videos and stuff as well. For each homework problem, they also have like I guess kind of like a tutorial, a walkthrough, how to solve this, and so you can go through with them step by step on how to do it. You can work with the computer, and the computer's kind of helping you alongside, or you could just trash all that and do it some other way because there's multiple ways to get the right answer. That's okay. It's just another available resource.
Okay, so fear not, students. When you actually get in the math classes, those resources are available through Blackboard, and all those helpful hints, so to speak, are available for you at that time. So great.
Mm-hmm. And we are
resource,
too.
Yes.
Another resource that a lot of us, I think most of us use, it's called a Mimeo machine. But what happens is everything that we write on the board, and it looks like we're just writing on the board, is saved to a file. And then with the COREX, we email you that file every day. So you don't have to try to write down the whole problem. You can just say, okay, and you can see which slide it is. You can say slide 5 has a word problem. And then you get to just concentrate on the work while you're in class with us, because you know after class, you're going to have the problem there. And I wish I'd had that when I was going to school, because it really does. That way you can ask us questions. It also allows us to let you practice more with us, because we're not waiting for you to write down a problem. You can actually get to work, and we can walk around and help you. You can work with your fellow students. So that is a great
And
technological
along
tool.
those same lines, many of the math instructors, we have departmental workbooks, and I use the workbooks, especially in the core courses. And so it's similar. We kind of have already outlined the notes for you that from each section, so we can focus more on practicing, because it's the process. You have to learn the process. And so it saves you a lot of writing time, and we can spend more time working problems. And so I think that's really good for our students in class.
That's great. It's wonderful that you guys offer the students so many different options. So for those who are struggling, listen to those options. Those are great options. But first and foremost, talk to your faculty member, talk to your professor. That is a great place to start to get the help that you need if you happen to be falling behind or struggling. So, and I'm sure you professors will agree with me on that one. All right. Anything else that you guys would like to add to kind of boost some confidence into our students, or let them know about the career options for math majors and that kind of thing? We haven't talked about teaching at all, but that your job is an outcome of being a math major of sorts. So if you guys want to recap some of the career options and that kind of thing real quick.
Yeah, there are a lot of career fields. You know, of course, STEM, that covers like engineering, computer science, but even any of the sciences now are requiring, you know, some calculus as you go to the 4-year. Even a biology degree at a 4-year now, often you have to get some calculus done. And so it's, you know, scientist, actuary, teacher. There's so many. Engineering, robotics, all of those require math. Anything that's, you know, honestly, if there's a field and you have to solve problems, like you're a problem solver, and I'm not talking about, like Chad said earlier, I have to factor some polynomials today. I'm talking about, okay, I've got employees that I've got to figure out what their schedule is and who can go where. You're using those skills when you do those kinds of things.
Right. Great.
You know, when I came out of school with a bachelor's in mathematics, of course, the world's kind of open to you at that point, because you don't go apply to be a math person like that. It doesn't work that way. So I was in the DC area, and I was actually working with the Navy at doing cost analysis, where I was helping work with the contractors, and we were putting RPVs on battleships. This was back in the 80s. But my job, it was the whole outcome was so important, but my little piece was just looking at the costs and helping make all of that work. So there are unbelievable amount of jobs for math majors. You can, you know, pinpoint something that you're interested in, and there's always going to be some math associated with that.
Right.
I've heard employers say before, you know, that are hiring for engineers, let's say, but they'll hire math people because they know how to think. That's what they'll tell you. They know how to think, and they're problem solvers. And so I can teach them the other stuff they need to know.
Good point.
A lot of people around in this area who are wanting to take the math program from us are often moving on to be math teachers. I see a lot of them, actually. And that's very good. Indeed, we definitely need more math teachers in the high schools in particular. I think that it's a good career choice. I think that's a good goal as well. I wanted to say, though, that I at first was not going to be a teacher. Just like Ellen was not a teacher at first, I was not interested in teaching. And I was scared of talking in front of people. I got a C in college algebra. Yep. So it's live now. There it is. I got a C in college algebra. I didn't know what I was doing. But I really liked math. I started making A's eventually, but I started to really like it. And my boss pushed me into it and said, "Hey, you're going to start teaching." And I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it, but I had to, and I did. And I was so thankful for it. I think it's exciting. And also, I think I'm particularly helpful in this because I'm not the best at math. You see, I don't want to say, because I know y'all are really good at the math there, but I'm not that math great, because now I can teach those that are not math great. I know how to speak on that lower level, and I don't want to just say, oh well, that's the only way to do it. I'm just I'm relatable. You know what I mean? I got a C in college Algebra. Come on. And if you want to get a C in college Algebra too, I can get you there. But let's push for the A. But I'm saying, C's get degrees. So I'm here for you on many different levels. The basic college algebra all the way through calculus 3. So I mean, I'm here at any kind of level. I want to help you. I want to get you through this. And I also want you to, learn, explore. This is all fun. That's what I like to promote. It's fun.
And for those of you who don't know, Professor Burrow, who said he had no intention of becoming a math teacher, has won the Student Choice for Teacher of the Year award. So that tells you how good he is at his job and how much he's excelled at becoming the teacher that he didn't want to be in the first place. So you're in good hands with him. So.
Well, thank you.
Certainly. So,
but I think all of us in the math department, just thinking back on some of my math professors going through school, we are a total different bunch. If we make a mistake on the board, please tell us. Please tell me why I'm still on this side of the board before I get to the end of the problem and realize it myself that I made a mistake. Because I learned from that, you learned from that. That is never a problem. And if you have a question, I think I can speak for all of us, I hope, that ask it. And don't worry about interrupting us. We're okay. We can get going again, but ask it when it's in your brain so that you don't forget. And maybe we can explain it a different way because, especially me, that was hard for me because this was my second career. And I had to learn how to explain things lots of different ways because I would say, wait a minute, I factored it. Why don't you understand what I just factored? And I still learn. I love that. Every semester, I still learn from students of how they see something that I sure didn't see it that way. And then I can explain it better the next semester because I now saw through their eyes. So please always ask questions.
Right, thank you. So speaking of questions, I don't see any more in the chat. And let me check with Mariceli. Do you have any more comments or questions in Facebook before we wrap this up? Last chance, folks. Ask away.
No.
Okay, there are no more questions or comments. So again, thank you guys so much for sharing so much about math and making it fun and more so sharing a little bit about the insight about you as professors to kind of make the students feel a little bit more at ease about the math that they're facing. Because again, most people dread math, but there are a select few that really love the math. And I think you touched on both sides of that. So I think that's wonderful. And thank you for sharing the options that students have when they're struggling or they're falling behind, the resources they have available to them, including yourself. So I think that is key for a lot of students to understand that you're there for them and there are other options available for them other than just struggling at the desk or taking it home and not getting it. So thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you guys for all your support and your input today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Waiting for Mariceli to stop streaming. Bear with us just a moment, folks. Starting the streaming and stopping the streaming seem to be very similar. Okay, Mariceli, I'm not sure if you're aware that you're muted, so if you're trying to talk to us.
Ellen, somebody wants to know you guys' names. So Ellen, how do you spell your last name?
It's Falkenstein, Falkenstein. S-T-E-I-N. It's a mouthful.
Falken.
S-T-E-I-N.
Bruce put it in the chat too.
Chad Burrows and Deborah Press. Hot. Thank you. They just want to know who you are. Maybe they'll look you up.
Awesome.
And any of them would be excellent instructors for you also.
1494 again, is that correct for your math?
Yes. What is it for Math Express, Ellen?
Oops.
1209.
That's I knew that.
Bruce,
Even though I haven't had to dial it in a year
There
and
we
a
go.
half.
I know.
Can I what, Marcelli?
Can you make me a host?
What happened? You were a host.
I understand. So, Karen wants you guys to have a great day. Thank you, Karen.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
You too.
All right. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Thanks.
All right, you guys.